The Commission initiated its evaluation on 24th of August 2023 by notifying the judge through email and asking her to complete and return an ethics questionnaire and the financial declarations required by Law 65. Judge Cazacliu returned the completed declarations and questionnaire on the 4th of September 2023. As part of evaluating a subject's ethical and financial integrity, the Commission also obtains information from many other sources, such as the National Integrity Authority, the State Fiscal Service, the General Inspectorate of the Border Police, other public institutions, financial institutions, and open sources. The Commission assesses information it obtains for relevance and reliability. On the 6th of October 2023, the Commission asked Judge Cazacliu to provide additional information by the 13th of October to clarify certain matters. Judge Cazacliu provided answers and documents within the set deadline. On the 25th of October 2023, the Commission asked Judge Cazacliu to provide additional information, this time by the 29th of August 2023. Again, she provided answers and documents within the set deadline. On 4 January 2023, we notified Judge Cazacliu that the Commission in its investigation had identified some areas of doubt about her compliance with the ethical and financial criteria. We also invited her to attend today's hearing. Judge Cazacliu, do you wish to make any additions or corrections to the answers you've provided to the Commission's request for information?
Totul a fost exact așa. Bună ziua tuturor în primul rând.
Hello everyone. First of all,
exact așa cum a
everything
fost menționat.
was just like it was mentioned, so I'm ready to answer the questions of the Commission. Can you hear me, Scott?
Yes. I'm sorry, Judge. Some of us didn't get the translation of your comments, so could you, again, I apologize.
Totul a fost exact așa
Everything
cum ați menționat
was
dumneavoastră.
exactly as you mentioned, so I have nothing to add or clarify, and I'm ready to answer the questions from the Commission.
Thank you very much. Are your answers to the ethics questionnaire that you returned on the 4th of September still accurate as of today?
Toate răspunsurile sunt valabile.
All answers are still valid
precizările ultimii variante care am oferit Comisiei.
the clarifications of the last versions that I offered to the Commission.
Thank you. We will now ask some questions to you from Commission members. We will try to keep our questions short and to the point, and we ask that you similarly try to keep your answers short and to the point as well. Commission member Giuliana Civanini will begin with the questions.
Good morning, Judge Cazacliu. I will ask you some questions related to incompatibility, possible incompatibility, conflict of interest. In some cases, you adjudicated when you were judge in Friuli. The cases were listed in the note for the hearing. There were 3 cases involving Rabei Gennady. 2 were criminal and 1 was an administrative case in electoral matter. And 2 cases were involving Andrei Gennady, the brother of Andrei Rabei, the brother of Gennady Rabei, and the 2 cases were 2 criminal cases. In one of these, Andrei was the victim, in the other was the representative of the victim. You already gave some explanation, but we want clarification. Why you decided not to make a self-recusal statement during the case at the beginning, in the opening of the cases against Rabei Gennady. We want a clarification because you were in a relationship. We don't want detail on the relationship, but you as a judge, you can understand that we are evaluating if you had an obligation to self-recusing, and so we wanted to know why you added, as it is documented in the minutes of the hearing, deciding for joining the case to other cases for connection reason instead of giving a self-recusal declaration.
Ce ca toată lumea să înțeleagă cine
I would like
este
everyone
Gennady
to
Rabei
understand
și
who
ce relație
Gennady
avem cu
Rabei
acesta,
is and
trebuie
my
să
relationship
fac
to
un
him.
incursiune
So I'd like
despre începutul
to
relației noastre,
discuss a
cum
bit
s-a
about the
derulat și
beginning of
în
our
ce
relationship,
relații
how
suntem
this
funcționari.
evolved, and what
Deci,
are our
trebuie
relationships
să
in
aduc
general.
cunoștința comisiei că
I would like
pe
to
Gennady Rabei l-am
inform
cunoscut
the
în anul
Commission that I
2007.
met Gennady Rabei in 2007.
Deci, nu o să intru în detalii,
I will
între
not
noi s-a
go
iscat
into
o
details.
relație ca între
So
un bărbat și o femeie.
we had a relationship like everyone between a man and a woman, and this resulted in the birth of a child.
Să spun așa, la general, nu a mers prea
In
bine
general,
întotdeauna relația între noi.
Our relationship
A fost
didn't
o
go very
relație
well
așa
all the time.
mai amorizantă la început.
So there was more
Posterior,
romanticism in the
după ce s-a
beginning,
născut copilul,
but
așa
after
se
the
întâmplă și la alții.
child was
S-au
born,
început
as
diferite
happens for other
divergențe,
couples also,
discuții,
we had
întrebări,
different
care
fights,
de o
discussions,
perioadă până când copilul a
and
împlinit
for a
6 ani.
period until
să nu
the
avem nicio
child
relație
turned
în general.
6, we
nici cu bună ziua nu
stopped
era loc.
all interactions. We
Deci,
didn't even greet
Asta a
each
fost
other.
în această perioadă, dacă
And
mi se întâmpla
in this period,
să
if
am vreo cauză
it
cu
happened
această
to
persoană,
have a case that
din
involved this
discuțiile cu
person,
președintele
based on the
instanței
discussions
care
with
le-am avut
the
la acea
president
perioadă,
of the court that
am ajuns la
was
concluzie și la înțelegerea
sitting at
că
that
în
moment,
cazurile când
we
va fi
had this
posibil,
agreement that
va fi
when
situația de
possible,
conexare cu o altă cauză,
if it's
sau
possible
în
to
alt
connect
fel,
this with
ca
another
această cauză
case,
să nu o examinez eu,
or
să
if
mergem pe
it's
această
there's the possibility that I
Iar în
don't examine
cazurile
this case,
când
we will
nu va
do
fi
this.
o altă
And
soluție,
if
să-mi
there
fac
is
o
no other
recuzare.
solution,
De ce nu
I
mergeam
will
de fiecare
recuse
dată
myself.
la o recuzare?
Why didn't
Vă
I
spun
always use
De
self-recusal?
fapt, această
Actually,
relație cu mine era foarte discutabilă
this
și foarte
relationship was
în mediul social. Din aceste motive
more in a
evitam,
social
ca să nu dau
environment.
temei,
This is
odată
why
în
I
plus,
didn't want
să
to
răscolesc
give
acest
grounds
subiect, să dau temei de
to
comentare în mediul social
for
sau
the social environment
că
to have
eram la un
comments,
nivel de raion și
because we
nu vroiam
were
să dau
living
temei
in
în plus, să se
district, not
răscolească
in the
aceste discuții.
capital, and we didn't
De
want
aceea,
these
atunci
discussions
când era
to
posibilitate să conectez
intensify.
o cauză
So
la altă cauză,
if there's a possibility,
întotdeauna
there was
făceam
the possibility to
anume
connect
aceasta,
one
ca să-
case to another,
că de
we did
altfel
exactly
vreau
this.
să vă spun că am avut o situație în acea
And
perioadă,
we
nu
had
pot
a
să-mi amintesc
case.
concret
I can't
în care
remember
cauză,
exactly
poate
the
chiar în
case,
una din
maybe
acestea,
even
când
one
am
of those
făcut
mentioned,
o recuzare,
when I
și am
had
scris
a
cam
self-recusal,
temei, că așa și era în acea
and
perioadă, că suntem în relații de
the ground
ostilitate.
was the fact that
Vreau
we
să
are in
spun că
hostile
mi-a fost
relationships.
respinsă cererea de recuzare și
I
am
would like to
fost
say that
nevoită,
this
cred că ulterior,
request
să
was
parcurg
denied,
calea conexării.
and I needed to
Nu vroiam să-
make this connection
să mă
because
justific cumva, să
I
dau mai
didn't
multe
want
detalii.
to give
Asta a
justifications
fost.
or
Dar
details.
un lucru ce
This
vreau
was
să
the
spun,
situation.
Ca să înțeleagă
What
toată
I would
lumea.
like to say
Pe
for
toată
everyone to
perioada
understand
cât
is
eu
that
am activat
throughout the
în
period
acest
when
raion și
I
aș fi
worked
avut,
in this
adică
district
am avut interacțiuni cu
and
cauze
I interacted with
care a fost
cases
implicat
that
domnul Rabei.
involved Mr. Rabei.
Dacă mi-aș fi dorit, aș
If
fi avut
I
foarte
wanted,
multe ocazii
I
să
could
intervin
have
pentru
had
această
many
persoană
occasions
și să iau
to
careva soluții. Dar nu am făcut-o
give certain
niciodată.
solutions in favor of this person, but
Întotdeauna
I
am
never did
căutat
this. I
căile și
always
soluțiile care să
looked
mă
for
îndepărteze
paths or solutions
de
that would
aceste decizii.
bring me further from these solutions.
Asta este
Decisions,
în general.
sorry.
Dacă doriți,
These
de
are the
fapt, mi-ați pus
general
întrebarea pentru fiecare
details.
cauză în parte. Și
If
acum,
you
ca să-mi
want,
reamintesc,
we can discuss each case.
deci aici am la întrebările
I will
comisiei,
discuss
selectat, am văzut,
what
este
I
înțelegere
selected.
din 27
We
octombrie
have this
2014,
decision from 27th October
am conexat
2014,
cauza
where I
penală în
connected
privința lui
the
Gennady
case
Rabei,
related to
baza
Gennady
de
Rabei
la o altă cauză penală,
to another
deoarece mai
criminal
avea pe rol
case
în
because
instanța noastră și alte
our
carte de
court
denumire,
also
care se
had
ridicau la
other
judecători. De
cases
aceea, vă zic, cum
that
am
were
spus,
judged
nu
by
mi-am
another
inteles
judge.
pe asta
As
sau pe altă
I
cauză, dar
said,
făcusem deja
I don't
cercetări
remember
care mi-au
if
fost răspunse.
the
Și am
recusal
ajuns la
request
concluzia că
was
este
for this
o
case or another one,
situație
and the
binevenită de o conexat
solution,
și
the
astfel
request
de a mă
was
debarasa de această cauză.
denied, and this is why I wanted
Cât
to
privește
not
următoarea
take this
decizie,
case. Regarding the next decision,
Maybe I can go directly to some specific point, so you don't have to go through all the case in detail. A follow-up question: can you tell us then who was the president of the court at the time, the one whom you discussed how to manage this situation?
Domnul Eugeniu Sânduță se numea.
Mr. Eugeniu
Nu
Sânduță,
este în funcție.
he's not in office anymore.
So he's retired.
Da, s-a pensionat.
Yes.
So you, in one case, you decide to do a declaration of self-recusal, and it was the only case, or all the cases were solved with the connection decision, or you had also some case in which you made the declaration of self-recusal and the president granted it? I can rephrase if it's not clear.
Da, eu am să încerc să răspund
I
dumneavoastră. o
will
să-mi
try
spuneți
to
dacă
answer,
sunt-
and
am
you
înțeles
tell
corect
me
sau nu.
if I understood correctly
Deci,
or not.
Nu pot să-mi amintesc acum cu
I
exactitate,
can't remember
dar sunt sigură
exactly,
că a fost o
but
cauză
I'm
și
sure
că m-am
that
supărat
there
atunci
was
cu acest
such a
fapt,
case,
că
because
n-am
I was
înțeles,
upset because
soluția
of this. I
absolută,
didn't
deci cauza mea a fost
understand the
respinsă, că,
solution.
de
I
fapt,
didn't
toată
understand
lumea
why
cunoștea
this was
care era
rejected,
relația mea
because
cu
everyone
domnul, dar m-am
knew
dus
my
cu
relationship
hârtie.
with
Am
this
scris
gentleman,
alt
but
motiv,
I
că
didn't
suntem în
want to
relație
write
ostilă.
this. I
Și
invoked another reason that we are
Dar a
in
fost,
hostile
asigur, nu
relationships.
pot să spun acum
But this
cu
happened for
siguranță,
sure.
cu
I
certitudine că a fost în
can't
cazul
say
menționat
exactly
în
that
acest sau
it
în altul.
was in
A fost așa în caz.
the case you
Și de
mentioned,
aceea
but
asta m-a
or
făcut
in
a
another
fost
case.
un motiv în plus de a
And
evita
this
pe
was
cât
another
posibil
reason
de a
to
face recuzări de fiecare
avoid
dată. Atunci când era
writing
posibil
these
să-
recusals all the
Să mă
time.
înlătur de la această cauză, o făceam pe
So
altă cale.
if there was a possibility to avoid taking such cases, I did it using another path.
You were mentioning that the relation was well known in the social or legal environment. You can confirm this? And in these cases in which you declare you adopted a decision of referral to join the case to other cases, the party were informed of this possible alternative self-recusal or joining for the cases for connection were the parties put in condition to express their opinion or their point of view? You hear the parties on this point? Did you hear the parties?
Din conținutul încheierilor,
From the contents of the conclusions that you have attached, as the annexes, and it was also present in the hearing only the defendant and his lawyer. So from the conclusion, it derives that the defendant agreed with the connection of the cases, and his lawyer has supported the opinion of the defendant. This is all. Those who were present were interviewed in this regard.
So you can confirm that in no one of the cases that are listed there was an opposition from the prosecution or from the lawyer of the defendant?
repetați încă o dată întrebarea, ceva n-am înțeles.
If you may repeat the question, please.
Can you confirm that in any of these cases there was an opposition, a contrary opinion of the defendant, lawyer, or of the prosecutor?
Da, de altfel și procurorul văd că este prezent aici.
Yes, and we have the prosecutor also here in the meeting. Yes, everybody agreed, because those who are applying these judiciary practices, they know it very well. When we have some case pending in the court, we have a criminal case in relation to a person, all the cases are connected for examination in a single process, because this is under the law and this is the most reasonable way and more convenient way, both for the defendant and everyone else.
If we can pass to the position of Andrei Rabei, which was your relationship with Andrei Rabei? Did you know him? Did you know which was the family relationship with the father of your daughter? Do you have frequentation?
Deci, din felul cum a fost
So,
relația
according to how my relationship with Gennady Rabei evolved, I believe that for everyone is clear that the more our relation got worse, we didn't even met his relatives, so that you can understand we had this kind of relation. This was the kind of situation I had with Andrei Rabei. I didn't know him at all. I haven't ever met him since that moment. Moreover, in the process, we did have this, in the trial, we did have the lawyer, the prosecutor. If they knew something, they could have evoked something. Tell me who was this person, because his last name didn't give me any suspicion about their relationship, because in their village there's a lot of people with such family name, and we had some other cases with this family name, and no question appeared. This is why I didn't have no suspicion or doubt that they could have some relationship of kin, these persons. I didn't know them before. And even more, I didn't even have the possibility at that time to go into more details about the aggrieved parties, because it was in the 2016 or 17. And I was the only one judge in that court. I was investigation judge and judge for all the cases, because part of the judges, they quitted the office, and I had like 20 sessions per day, and it was like a line of production, let's say. So we had a lot of cases. So even today, if I could see this Andrei Rabei person in my face, I couldn't recognize him.
Thank you very much for this issue. The questioning is over on my side.
Thank you. Some additional questions will be asked by Commission Member Andrei Bivo.
Bună ziua, doamnă Cazacliu.
Good day, Madam Cazacliu. I will take the right to speak in Romanian. Another issue that was communicated by you for this public hearing is the failure to comply the annual declarations for assets and income for 2019. During our assessment, the National Authority of Integrity has communicated us that the system for registration of the declarations does not have a declaration from your side for 2019. How do you explain the lack of this declaration? Okay, let me explain. So, till 2018, I had worked as a judge in Court Court of Instancy Criuleni, and I didn't work on submitting the declaration before. There was a young accountant that was taking care of the submission of the declarations. We only provided that key with the signature, and that's all. And I didn't know the exact details for entering the data, for providing the data. Now I have learned already. So, being transferred at the beginning of 2019 in Chisinau, I took care of this issue by myself. And as of, because we have the data confirmed on the webpage of National Authority of Integrity. So there, when you access my page, there is the information that as of 24th of March, I have submitted my declaration, but everyone knows that there is 2 pages. Filled out declarations and submitted declarations. So I filled out the filled out page or filling in page, but I didn't press the button so to switch to the submitted page. So this was my bad luck, let's say. So later on, we had a meeting in our staff, and it was explained to us that we need to indicate absolutely all data, even those related to medical leaves, every income. And I remember that I had some medical leave in that period and didn't indicate in the declaration. So I decided to access and see if it's possible. And they told us that it was possible to do that before of the 30th of April. And myself, I identified I believe before the 1st of April that my declaration is filled out but not submitted. Or I believe it was, anyway, it was after the 30th of March. So I requested the support from someone so to check those all the issues so that to have it submitted. I don't know what showed the webpage of National Authority of Integrity showing that in July I received a letter or notification from National NIA saying that the same question, or stating the same question about the lack of my declaration. So I provided the same explanations as to you today, that there was technical error. It was an attempt of myself to submit it, but while submitting, I checked not the right buttons, so I had a slight delay after the 30th of March in submitting this declaration. So the NIA authorities have verified all the information. They identified that everything was according to the truth, and the procedure was stopped in this regard. So in the case, including documents provided by me, you have proof, evidence and excerpts from the webpage of my persons saying that it was submitted on the 24th of March 2020. So, for us to understand, the declaration was indeed submitted on the 24th of March 2020. It was to be a declaration for the 2019. So, to understand that the fact that it says 2020 is a technical error. Yes, this is a technical error, because you can even look at the content and the amount of the wage received in 2019 according to the incomes indicated and the assets indicated. It corresponds to the year 2019. And also the fact that it says that it's a declaration on employment. It's not an L1. Again, this is a technical error. So let me explain. I wasn't certain because I was transferred to Chisinau. So I had to decide to say like an employment declaration or other type of declaration. This is why I checked the employment option.
Okay, I have to ask people to talk one at a time so the interpreters can catch up for those of us who don't speak Romanian.
Scuzele mele. Așa. Așa, deci să înțelegem ca așa, ca o întrebare
So
concludentă.
to understand as a concluding question,
Toate aceste neclarități sunt
you are saying that
rezultatul unei
all
erori
these
tehnice.
uncertainties are deriving from some technical errors.
Dacă nu sunt eu crezută,
if
există
you do not believe me, there are ways to check this information, to verify this on the webpage of NIA. And moreover, before this hearing, I wanted to have one more other copy from the webpage from NIA, but I didn't have access to those data. Maybe it's that because already started the period for submitting the declaration or some other reason, but I didn't get access, possibility to get this data. But yes, you have the response from the NIA attached to the first report, and it says in details what was provided and what was attached as annex. And I believe that you should understand that National Integrity Authority would not leave me alone if something was being wrong.
Așa ne imaginăm și noi.
Yes, we do believe this. So, thank you. No more questions. Maybe other colleagues.
Doamna Cazacliu,
Madam Cazacliu,
în perioada de când v-a informat Comisia despre
since you were informed by the Commission about this issue, have you taken some measures? Have you addressed the National Integrity Authority to correct this technical error because your declaration is not currently public on their website?
Nu am considerat necesar.
No, I didn't believe it was necessary because I considered this was already concluded, finalized, once the integrity inspector has issued a conclusion saying that the verification process about the legality for submission of the declaration was finalized. I don't know what on the webpage of NIA we do have today, but I didn't consider it necessary to take some action in this regard. All the information is on paper and even in non-submitted declaration. Maybe it cannot be seen from the other side, but when I open my account, my profile, I can see it.
Yes, Ms. Perlin.
Yes, thank you. I have only one question, and I would like ask follow-up question about conflict of interest. I understand very well what you explained, but could you explain, please, a little bit, what was the reason why you still considered that you should not participate in the legal proceeding involving the father of your child? Was it for you real conflict of interest? Was it just risk of conflict of interest? Or for you it was only just some kind of an inconvenience situation? So please explain how you fought in your head to participate or not to participate. Why you did the agreement with the president not to still participate? Because you very well explained that yes, in the beginning you thought about it, but maybe not to participate. And my question is, why?
Deci, de fapt, participarea mea.
Well, actually, my participation in the decision-making or the judgment relating to this person did not occur, did not take place, because the conclusion for connecting one case to another is not a court decision. This conclusion can be at any time removed or rejected by any other judge.
declare conflictul de competență.
that might declare this conflict of competence to reject this connection. So I believe that through my actions, I did not take some decisions in relation to that person. I only proposed to another panel of judges to examine these cases together.
Și nu am luat careva decizii.
And I did not
În
take
cazul
some
când
decisions.
aceasta,
If
finaliza cu altă decizie,
it was
evident că
finalized
aveam
with
să ajung
other
la o
judgments,
cerere de
of course,
autorecuzare.
I
Nu este corect,
would
nu
have
este
resorted to
normal.
a
Și nu
self-recusal
pot să
because
iau o
this was
decizie în
not
așa
normal
situație.
and I was not able to take such decision in
Thank
their
you very
regard.
much.
Plăcere.
Do any of the other commission members have any additional questions? Judge Cazacliu, I have one question related to the declaration, which I understand, although labeled 2020, was meant to refer to 2019. You filed declarations for the years before and following that identified a parcel of real estate here in Chisinau, but the 2019 form omits that, and I just wondered why. Was that just a mistake that it was not identified in the 2019 form?
Vă răspund.
Okay, let me check and answer to your question.
Aveți în vedere că nu au fost indicate
You
acele
mean
bunuri
that
care erau
those assets were not
indicate
indicated, that were
și
indicated
după
previously
2019, dar
and
s-au
after
indicat numai acele
2019,
bunuri care
but
au fost
were only
dobândite pe
indicated those
parcursul anului
assets
2019.
obtained
Asta
only
ați
during
avut în vedere.
2019. You meant
Pentru că
this?
deschizând declarația,
Because
cum am
opening
spus,
my
la
declaration,
rubrica,
as I said, in the section
este indicat
wage,
salariul
I have
de
indicated
acesta,
the wage
la rubrica
obtained in that year, and in the
mijloace
section related to
de transport, cred că
transportation
este,
means, I believe,
indicat automobilul care l-am procurat
I
în
have
acel
indicated
an.
the car that I
Este
bought
indicat.
that year. It
Și
also
la-
is indicated there.
Trebuia să fie încă la rubrica
And
cred că bunuri
I believe there was
imobile,
also the real estate
deci
section,
credite
and
existente la acel
there was
moment.
loans
Sunt
indicated
indicate
for
în
that moment.
2019,
So there
creditul,
are loans
contractat
indicated
în
for
anul
2019, which was taken in 2019.
Posibil nu am indicat
I
locuința,
maybe failed to
Fiindcă-
indicate the house
pe parcurs erau viziuni diferite.
because
Să indicăm numai
during the
acele
process were
bunuri
different
dobândite pe
visions to
parcursul
indicate
acelui
only
an
the
sau
assets
și toate
obtained during
deținutul
that year
acela.
or
De aceea,
always that were also
consultându-mă cu
in the
colegii,
possession in at that
posibil,
before that or in that
am
period.
ajuns la concluzia
So
că nu
in the end, we
este
concluded
inutil ca să
that
indice
it was
fiecare an
useless to
ce
indicate
dețin
the
proprietate, doar am indicat
properties
ceea
obtained
ce am
every year.
obținut
So
în
I
acel an.
indicated only what I
Dar în
acquired that
consecință,
year.
după cum urmează următorii ani,
But as
sunt vizibile toate
as a result, in the next
care le-am
years,
avut și le aveam la
there is
2019.
visibility on all the assets that I had even before 2019 and after, and including 2019.
Thank you. Any other questions by commission members? Judge Cazacliu, would you like to make a brief statement before we conclude the hearing?
Nu știu ce aș putea să mai adaug la
I don't
cele
know what
spuse.
else I could add to what I said
Sper că
before.
am fost corect
I hope
înțeleasă de
I
membrii
was
comisiei,
correctly understood by the
că
members of the Commission
pe parcursul activității
that
mele
during
nu
my
am
activity,
făcut careva devieri
I
de
didn't
la
have
statutul
some
judecătorului,
deviation
am
to the
statutul
from the
să
status
fiu
of the judge.
corectă,
I always try
să
to be
fiu,
correct, to
să iau decizii legale,
take
însă
legal decisions,
acele,
but
erori
those
tehnice care au
technical
fost obstacole
errors that were
comisiei,
identified by the
sper că
Commission,
au fost clarificate,
I really hope
înțelease,
they were
înțelese
clarified,
și,
understood, and
înlătură orice dubii
going
asupra acestora. Dacă sunt
aside of
întrebări,
every
să
doubt.
răspund.
If you have some other questions, I'm ready to answer.
Thank you. We've come to the end of today's hearing, and I thank you again, Judge, for your submissions and answers to our questions. After the hearing, the Commission will approve an evaluation report stating its conclusion, whether the subject meets the criteria for ethical and financial integrity under Law 65. The Commission will strive to complete its evaluation report and announce its conclusion as soon as possible, and it generally seeks to do so within a month of today's public hearing. The hearing is now closed.